you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Good to see you.
Thank you for joining us in the studio today.
For having me.
So, Sabrina, you are a journalist with The Citizens,
Yes.
but you're also a parent
Yes.
of a 12-year-old daughter
Yes.
who we've got in the studio today.
Yes. Hello.
And, arrived with a book today, so you've not given her a smartphone and you've distracted her with a book
Actually,
today.
I must say, honestly, she's always been a reader, so it wasn't really a big prompt. But she has a smartphone.
So, as a parent, you were worried about smartphone access. And earlier this year, you joined a few WhatsApp groups to try and figure out answers to some complicated questions, like should your daughter have access to a smartphone? She's a preteen now, right?
Yeah.
And what harms will she be exposed to if she has a smartphone? But also, will she miss out on socializing with friends and educational opportunities if she doesn't? And you were wrestling with these questions. So now, does your daughter actually have a smartphone? And why did you make the decision you made in the end?
I'll keep it short. She has a smartphone because she was the only, I think there were two kids in year 5 and 6 didn't have a smartphone. And actually, what I did was to allow her on my device. So she had a WhatsApp chat on her device. She could access her friends because I thought communication and being cut off at the end of primary school would be bad for her. But I could monitor everything. And actually, in a couple of instances, I'm not sure she knows, but in a couple of instances, I had to warn the other parent, the other mums, it's always the mums, of something weird happening on those chats. And then I didn't want to give her a phone. So I contacted a few mums I didn't know about, I just contacted others before the start of secondary school who were aligned, and we said we're a small group saying no phones until as possible. And we relented after, I think, 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Because one of the aspects is socialization, and when all of the other girls I want her to be friends with, they're on WhatsApp, and I could tell because, again, some WhatsApps are on my device. And there was a lot of, getting to know each other and jokes, inside jokes or homework, also advice. I forgot my Latin book, what did I have to do? And I realized she was missing out on that. So we relented with a contract. She signed a contract.
Very formalized.
Well, no, it's something that's going around among parents. At least you set the rules and you responsibilize her, and she signed a contract, and the contract is she has to respect it. So it's also about,
So I'm guessing you've gone the more midway where she has some sort of access, but you monitor it so she doesn't actually is exposed to the harmful things.
At the moment, the thing is that she's on WhatsApp because, again, everything happens on WhatsApp, and it can be important. Also, just bonding, and I think it's important to have. And then she has Spotify because she's also plays an instrument, and so she's expanding her horizon. It's very difficult for me as a music lover to limit that. And then and that's my husband's fault, she has Pinterest.
Okay, so you are also putting some sort of bracket over the number of social platforms she can be on when she's on there.
The idea and the agreement that she won't be on social before 16. So in a way we are also...
So it's particular apps, but not social media yet, except for a messaging app, WhatsApp, to connect with her friends.
Yes, for now.
You've been reporting on this issue for a few months now, and there are a lot of different strands to it. In the absence of tough regulation from the government and big tech not being responsible, what would you say very quickly are the three key takeaways from your reporting?
The movement that I'm following, the Smartphone Free Childhood. Okay, so what I've noticed is that there's certainly a lot of worries about peer pressure, not only among the children, but also other families. So the effort is to create pockets of other families who think alike. In this way, your child won't be isolated and will say, okay, my friend is not on smartphone, but we can still text and meet in real life. And also there's some pushback from some schools. Also, a lot of schools, even big ones like Eton, are implementing measures to ban schools at school on the premises, and also recommending that access to smartphones is limited at home. This is changing quickly. Another thing that I noticed, there's a complete distrust in the government that will be able to do something, although there's hope they will and they should. But also, they really despise social media and platforms. Meta is evil for them. It's a recurrent theme. Another thing that I'm noticing, if it's maybe more nuanced, but very important, and I think promising, is they want to reset, they want to start a cultural shift in our relationship, everyone's relationship with technology. So the parents want to give the good example. So they're limiting their whole consumption of content via smartphones. And so they're back to having lunch and dinner together with no smartphone, doing things without smartphone, and they're going back to brick phones themselves.
Interesting. So you've said one is they are kind of navigating the point of peer pressure that was building up about giving smartphones to young people earlier in life.
Yeah.
The second bit is that they still have taken this in their own hands because of the mistrust they have towards both big tech and government.
It makes sense because actually we're still waiting for effective regulation. So in this vacuum, parents are saying, okay, in the meantime, I take things into my hands and also what they're doing, they're activating actions and putting pressure on, sending letters to principals or to the MPs. So there's a bit of a mix of old-style activism. And what's interesting, I think, these parents are normally middle-class parents, maybe 40s, 50s, and they remember how it was before smartphones. They're going back to it a little. And the idea is actually, I find out it is entirely possible, maybe not to go off-grid because it's not possible, but to limit it. And in the old days, I wasn't always waiting for the call. If the call arrives and I check after 2 hours, no one dies.
So that being the third point, right, where they themselves are, questioning their own relationship with technology and social media now that they're worried about their children.
Because the idea that, as a parent, I cannot impose on my child something I don't do, because they will tell you, you're always constantly on smartphones, so why would I not be? Yeah. So there's I think a reset of habits and really a rethinking of our relationship with and our own addiction to that technology.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, Sabrina.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.